Yandy!
Yo,
Don't touch my business. Hi, Yandy.
Yo,
How you
this is my
doing?
husband.
No, don't touch me. Tell your husband don't touch me.
Wait,
Listen,
let me
hold on.
I know
No,
baby. No, baby, I know
Don't touch
that
me.
was the case.
Don't touch me.
No, I knew him
Don't touch me.
I knew him since I knew him.
Don't touch me, nigga. Give me a hug.
My husband like that.
What you doing?
Talk to my husband like that.
Give me a hug.
Listen,
Why you had to
jump you, Flip?
I just want to talk to you.
See, you
My
do
nephew
this
here.
again. Come on, Flip.
I want to
Flip. You're playing with the hands and you yelling. Come on.
Why you had them jump me?
I didn't have nobody jump you.
So why they touch me for?
You touched me. You smacked my hand.
All right, so what, man? Give me a hug, man.
Come on, Flip.
No,
Come on. See,
don't
stop.
touch me.
Flip,
Don't touch me. Give me a hug.
Stop.
Give me a hug. You touch me again. Touch me again.
It was the bombshell no one saw coming. In a shocking turn of events, Mendeecees Harris is filed for divorce after a DNA test revealed something that could shatter everything we thought we knew about his marriage to Yandy Smith-Harris.
Yo, what's really good? What's really hood? Welcome to the Jamani Show. It's your boy Jay. I got a quick question for y'all, fam. Yo, did Mendeecees allegedly beat up Jim Jones back in the days in Harlem? Did Mendeecees allegedly beat up Jim Jones in Harlem back in the days? Give me y'all perspective, man. Keep it $150. Tell me how y'all feel about that. One.
Hadima exploded on social media when Mendeecees dropped the bombshell. The results of a DNA test have proven that Yandy has been hiding the truth about their family for years. Fans are absolutely reeling, questioning everything they thought they knew about the couple. Was Yandy hiding a massive secret? And what does this mean for their future? Emotions ran high as Mendeecees confronted Yandy in a heated exchange, leaving us all wondering, is this the end of one of reality TV's most iconic couples? Stay tuned as we unravel this jaw-dropping scandal step by step. Mendeecees could hardly believe his eyes as he stared down at the DNA test results. His fingers trembled, clutching the paper as the words on it danced before his eyes. He didn't want to believe it, but the cold, hard truth was staring him right in the face. The child Yandy had been claiming was not his at all. How could this happen? How could Yandy, the woman he trusted with his heart, the woman who stood by him through thick and thin, betray him in this way? The room felt like it was closing in on him as the weight of the revelation sank in. The child, their child, he thought, wasn't even his mind raced, flashing back to all the moments he had spent with the little one, the late-night feedings, the birthday parties, the family vacations. How many times had he looked into those innocent eyes and told himself he was doing the right thing by sticking by Yandy's side? He was shattered. He could hardly breathe. Without a moment's hesitation, Mendeecees stormed out of the house and into his car, his mind set on one thing: confronting Yandy. He couldn't wait any longer. He had to know why. Why had she done this? Why had she lied to him? As he drove, the anger started to build. It wasn't just about the child. It was about everything. The lies, the deception, the years of trust that had just been shattered in an instant. He didn't even know how he was going to face Yandy when he saw her. He couldn't imagine what kind of explanation could make sense of this. When he arrived at the house, the door was already open. Yandy was inside, her back turned as she prepared dinner, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. Mendeecees stood in the doorway for a moment, taking a deep breath before walking inside. The tension was palpable, and he could barely keep his emotions in check. "Yandy," he called out, his voice steady, but with an edge of anger creeping through. She turned to face him, her expression softening as she smiled. But that smile quickly faded when she saw the look on his face. "Mendeecees, baby, what's wrong?" she asked, stepping toward him with concern in her eyes. "I need answers, Yandy," he said coldly, holding up the DNA test results in front of her face. His hand shook as he thrust the paper toward her, his eyes burning with anger. "Explain this." Yandy's face went pale. Her smile faltered, replaced by a look of panic that she tried to hide but couldn't. She swallowed hard. Taking a step back, "Mendeecees, I don't know what you're talking about." "You don't know what I'm talking about," he repeated, his voice rising. "This test says the child isn't mine. All these years you've lied to me. You've lied to all of us. How long has this been going on, Yandy? How long have you been keeping this secret from me?" Yandy opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The weight of the accusation was too much to bear. Her mind raced, but she couldn't find the right thing to say. She hadn't expected Mendeecees to find out like this, and she certainly hadn't prepared for the rage in his voice. "I didn't lie, Mendeecees," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" Mendeecees nearly shouted. "You think telling me the truth was complicated? Or is it the lies you've been feeding me that are complicated?" Yandy felt her heart drop. She knew she couldn't lie her way out of this. But the truth, the whole truth, was something she wasn't sure she was ready to face. The guilt was eating her alive, but she had to say something. "Anything, it's not like you think," she said, her voice weak. I didn't mean for it to get this far." "Didn't mean for it to get this far?" Mendeecees exploded. "You've been lying to me about my own child, Yandy. I've been there for him, like he's my flesh and blood, and all this time, I've been a fool." Yandy's eyes welled up with tears.
She didn't know what to say.
She had always prided herself on being the strong one, the one who kept everything together. But now, everything was falling apart. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Instead, she just stood there, frozen, as Mendeecees turned away from her, pacing in frustration. "This is ridiculous, Yandy. I don't know what to believe anymore. I stood by you through thick and thin, and this is how you repay me?" Mendeecees could hardly look at her anymore. "You've broken me." Tears streamed down Yandy's face as she tried to speak. "Mendeecees, please. I didn't know how to tell you. It wasn't like this in the beginning. I was trying to protect our family." "Protect our families?" Mendeecees cut her off, turning back around to face her. "By lying to me? By lying to our son? How could you think that was protecting anyone? Do you realize what this is doing to me? To us?" Yandy choked back a sob, her chest tightening as she tried to explain herself, but nothing she said could undo the damage that had already been done. She had kept a secret, a massive secret, for so long, and now it was all coming to light. Mendeecees was hurt, betrayed, and she could see it in his eyes. He wasn't going to let this slide. "This isn't just about the test, Yandy," Mendeecees continued, his voice dark with emotion. "It's about trust. Everything we've built, everything we've gone through together, it all feels like a lie now. How do I know what's real anymore?" Yandy stood there helpless, her hands shaking at her sides. She had no answer. She couldn't fix this. She could only wait for Mendeecees to decide what came next. The silence between them felt suffocating, the air thick with the weight of their broken bond. "Do you even love me?" Mendeecees asked softly, almost too softly. But the pain in his voice was undeniable. Yandy could barely breathe. This was the moment she had feared most, the moment when all her secrets came crashing down. She opened her mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come.
How could she answer that?
How could she make him understand? As the silence stretched on, Mendeecees turned away from her again, his voice hardening with each step he took. "I can't do this anymore, Yandy. I can't keep pretending like everything is okay when it's not. I need space. I need time to think." And with that, Mendeecees walked out of the door, leaving Yandy standing in the wreckage of everything they once had. The weight of his departure crushed her, and she knew, deep down, that their lives would never be the same again. The aftermath, the days following Mendeecees' explosive departure, were filled with chaos and confusion. Yandy was left alone in the empty house, her heart in turmoil, struggling to find any semblance of normalcy in a world that had just been turned upside down. She had never imagined something like this could happen, not after all they had been through together. But now, with Mendeecees gone and the truth out in the open, she had no idea how to fix what was broken. Her phone buzzed constantly with messages from friends, family, and fans, all demanding answers. Everyone had their own opinion, their own theory about what had really happened. Some supported Mendeecees, claiming he was right to be angry and walk away. Others, loyal to Yandy, tried to comfort her, telling her the truth would eventually come out and everything would be okay. But Yandy knew the damage had already been done. There was no turning back. The moment Mendeecees left, he didn't just walk out of their home. He walked out of her life. She could feel the distance growing between them with every passing hour. He wasn't returning her calls. He wasn't responding to her texts. Yandy was losing him, and she didn't know how to stop it. The reality of the situation hit her hardest when she spoke to her mother, who had always been a steady presence in her life. Mrs. Smith was furious, her voice trembling with disbelief. When Yandy told her about the DNA test results, "How could you let it get this far, Yandy?" her mother demanded, pacing back and forth in the living room of Yandy's house. "You lied to him, and now you've ruined everything. Do you even realize what you've done?" "I didn't mean for this to happen, Mom," Yandy pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "I never wanted to hurt him, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. I didn't know how to tell him the truth." Her mother's eyes narrowed. "And now look where we are. You've destroyed your marriage, and you've destroyed your family. You need to fix this, Yandy, and you need to do it fast." Yandy felt the pressure mounting. It wasn't just about her relationship with Mendeecees anymore. It was about everything they had worked for. Their family, their future. But how could she fix something so broken? How could she undo the years of lies and betrayal that had built up over time? Mendeecees' turmoil meanwhile, Mendeecees was dealing with his own fallout. Friends, family, and fans were all rallying behind him, supporting him through the most painful chapter of his life. He had always been seen as the calm and collected one, the rock of the family. But now, he was showing his raw, unfiltered emotions. He didn't know who to trust anymore. He didn't know what was real. One afternoon, Mendeecees met up with his brother, who had been his confidant through so many ups and downs. They sat in silence for a few moments, neither of them knowing exactly how to start the conversation. Finally, Mendeecees broke the silence. "I never thought I'd be here, bro," he said, his voice low and filled with hurt. "I thought I had it all, the family, the love, everything I wanted. And now it's all a lie." His brother, sensing the depth of his pain, placed a hand on his shoulder. "You don't have to explain yourself, man. We're here for you, whatever you need." "I don't even know what I need anymore," Mendeecees confessed, his voice cracking with emotion. "Yandy, she lied to me. I gave her everything, and she did this to me. I don't know how to look at her the same way anymore." "Have you talked to her?" his brother asked gently. "No," Mendeecees replied bitterly. "What's there to talk about? She lied. And now I'm supposed to just forgive her? I can't even wrap my head around it." Mendeecees shook his head, his voice heavy with emotion. "I've been trying to process it, but it's eating me alive." The weight of the situation was too much for him to handle. Every time he thought about the future, he saw nothing but a broken family and unanswered questions. Was this truly the end? Could they ever come back from this? Across town, Yandy was trying to make sense of her own emotions. She had never felt so alone, so lost. One of her close friends, a confidant who had always been there for her, called to check in. "Yandy, girl, what are you going to do? This whole situation has gone too far. You can't keep pretending like everything is okay when it's clearly not."